Alright, so for this trick, I can hand the deck over to the spectator, and they can give it a shuffle. After they're done shuffling the deck, I would have them go ahead and cut the deck into 2 piles. Now, it doesn't matter if the piles are even or not. Let's say right here. Now, if the spectator wanted to, they could then give both piles even more shuffles like this. And after they're done, I would ask them which pile they would like to use. So let's say they would like to use this pile. So I would say, okay, go ahead and start dealing cards down like this. And whenever you want to, go ahead and stop. Let's say they stop right here. Now, I would tell the spectator to take the rest of the cards in their hand and place it to the side. And now, I would draw their attention over to the card box and show them that the box has actually been here this entire time. And I actually want to show you that this is a magical box, okay? Now, when I say magical box, some people think I might have a magical card in this box to help me. But I can actually show you that there are no cards in here at all. Like this. And I would say, okay, I'm going to see if I can guess what this card is, okay? And you actually stopped at any card you wanted. So, let's say I go through here and... Okay, going to take out this card. So now remember, the deck was shuffled, you cut it anywhere you wanted, you dealt as many cards as you wanted, and I can show you there's no cards in this box, but I took out one card to help me. Before I show you this card, I'm going to try to guess this card. So I think for this card, between red and black, you might have red, okay? So that's just a standard guess. I could be wrong, maybe I'm not wrong, but let's keep going. Now for red, let's do numbers or pictures. Let's say this is a picture, okay? Now for pictures, let's go with jacks, queens, and kings. So what red picture card? Let's go with kings. And now we have hearts and diamonds. Let's see what we have here. How about hearts? So if we put together red, picture, king, hearts, that comes out to the king of hearts. Remember, I took out this card before I even guessed this card. This card is the king of hearts. Just like that, so I guessed it right. But wait, I took out another card, and every card in the deck has another card that goes with it. So for example, the ace of spades goes with the ace of clubs, the 2 of hearts goes with the 2 of diamonds. And in this case, I just so happen to take out the king of diamonds to make a perfect pair. That is the trick. If you would like to learn how this is done, be sure to stick around for the tutorial. Before I get into the tutorial here, I'm actually going to be doing the first of 3 deck reviews. Now, if you haven't checked out my last video yet, I actually unboxed the gift bundle I won from CardMechanic's 13K giveaway. So I will leave that video down below in the comments. But these were the 3 decks. The Lady Moon, I kept saying Lady Mon in the last video I noticed, till someone pointed out that it's Lady Moon. So, this is Lady Moon, then Avocados, and then Deck Starter. And since Lady Moon was talked about, because I asked you guys if you want to see, if you have a certain deck here you want to see first, let me know. Or I'll just go in order of the decks I open them. Well, Lady Moon's was the first deck mentioned. So I thought, why not go over these first? And if you still want to vote for the next video, you can. So either avocados or deck starter. If you want a little more in-depth look at these two decks, check out my last video where I did a little review, not too much in depth. But without further ado, let's get into this deck review. So these are the Lady Moon playing cards, okay? So the first thing on the front of the box is going to be embossed or raised, okay? It says Lady Moon, and it's in this dark blue background with yellow wording right here, or lettering, okay? Then up here is pink, and with, yeah, okay, so it's different types of pink. So it has dark pink, and then it has like a light pink. Might be a little hard to see on camera, but then you have a dark blue background, and then you have like some yellow to gold on top, and it says playing cards, okay? The very detailed front design, which is a very nice box. Now the side of the box actually looks like this, so it doesn't say playing cards like some of the other decks might. And the other side is the same as well, okay? So those are matching. Now the bottom actually says, produced and distributed by artofplay.com. Copyright 2019 by Art of Play. Designed by Kelly Thorne. Made in USA. So there's the bottom. And the top, the tuck sticker actually says the maiden, the mother, the crown. Okay, so I'm going to show you that right there. I'm not going to peel off the tuck flap or tuck sticker like I do for some of the other decks, because I don't know where to purchase these. So I want to keep the deck as nice as I can. But here's what the top of it looks like. And the back, actually, for the tuck sticker, it says Lady Moon. Then there's like some moons and like different phases of the moon. Okay, so this is basically revolved around the moon in a way. Okay, so this is the back design, and this is embossed a little too. Okay, some parts feel a little embossed like on the side, but you can see those pinks and those yellows and those blues. So this is actually the front of the box. Now, if you open up the flap here, it's going to have like a sun with some clouds pushing it away, just like that, okay? And then, if we open up the flap again, it's going to be a dark midnight blue with some midnight blue flaps right there. Then you open it up again, and it's the same pattern, okay? You have the cards themselves. And inside the box, it's just a dark blue, but actually on the tuck flap here, it says... Can't tell what it says. Maybe you can see that, maybe you can't, right where my finger is. I'll turn it the other way, in case you can't make it out. So that is the tuck flap. Now let's talk about what cards we get, and what the front design might look like. So the first card you're going to get on top is actually this card that says kthornstudio.com. Then it has the diamond and the hearts in pink, and the spades and the clubs in this dark blue. And it says, this card deck was designed by Kelly Thorne. And it's the same way the other way, okay? So here is the front, here's the back of the card. And then if you turn it, it's going to say the same thing. So there's that card. The next card you're going to get is actually a card for Art of Play. So it has like a sort of I don't know what you call this type, but it's a spade. Then it says Art of Play, Shop, Find, Playing Cards, Puzzles, and Games, artofplay.com. So there's the spade. So this is the next card you get. Now, the two jokers are going to be identical. Okay, identical. So, you can see they're on the moon, okay, and they have a cloudy background, okay, and it's women, but I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but they have, like, long hair and, like, little things come out of their head and, like, tails. I don't know if they're, like, demons or what. But if you know, you can let me know down below. But I have never seen this before with the things out of their head and the tail and everything. But these are the two jokers. Now, the back of the cards are going to look like this. And this is going to be the same thing for all the cards, okay? So it has like that gold and then that white. You can see it has like different phases of the moon in a way. Then it has the sun on both sides. And just a really nice back design. Now, let's go through the cards. So, these cards are in the same order. So, here we go. So, the first card is the Ace of Spades. Surprisingly, it started on the bottom. Normally, it doesn't. But you can see right here is a big dark blue spade. It has, like, some stars and maybe constellations and stars in the middle. Then some lines shooting out, some flowers around it. Just in this pretty blue. So that's the Ace of Spades. Now the rest of the number cards, 2 through 10, are going to be like this. Except that the color is going to be blue, okay? So I'm not going to be going through the number cards, okay? Because they're going to be the same thing. I'll give you a quick glimpse of these as I go through. Now, the Jack is going to be different, okay? So you can see the Jack is totally different, okay? So it looks like a painting in a way. And it looks like a mirror image, okay? So I'm not going to go too in-depth in these court cards, because you can see them yourselves. But I don't really know if these are paintings or what. But there's the Jack. There's the Queen. There is the King. Now, the next set we have are the diamonds. And the hearts and diamonds are going to be in pink, okay? So there's the diamond, has like a flower, has stuff shooting out of it, okay? So there's the really pretty diamond. And then the number cards are going to remain the same, and the diamonds are going to look like this. Okay, so we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, here is what the Jack looks like. Okay, so you can take a picture of this, you can pause the video, but here's what the Jack looks like. Here's the Queen. Here's the King. The next one we have are the clubs. And this is actually different because we start with the court cards this time. So here's the King. Here's the Queen. Here's the Jack. And the number cards are going to look like this, okay? So the spades, not spades, the clubs do look skinnier, but they have that dark blue color, okay? And this is going to be the clubs, 10 through 2, or 2 through 10. Now, the Ace of Spades is going to look like this, okay? So you can see it's a big, skinny club and has like some leaves and a flower and the same lines coming out of it. So here is what the club looks like. Last but not least, we have the hearts. Okay, so, and the king of hearts right here looks different to me. Okay, so you can see has something on their head, and just look how cool the king is. I can't tell if that's male or female, but there's the king. And then I can tell the queens. And then the jacks look like the queens in a way, okay? So, I don't really know. But here's the hearts. So they're pink, and then they're sort of bigger than you would imagine. To me, anyway. And this leads us up straight to the Ace of Hearts. Okay, so here's the last one, the Ace of Hearts. You can see it's a big pink heart, has like some flowers and leaves out of it, and with the line again. And those were the Lady Moon playing cards. I hope you liked this deck review. If I can find a link for these to buy, I will leave it down below. But if I can't, then there's not going to be a link down below. But that was the first deck review. If you want to see the other two decks again, stay tuned for the end of the video. But now, let's get into the tutorial for the first trick I did. Sort of a trick. Okay, so this is a real nice, well, I guess trick you could call it, because this can be a trick, this could be a force, this could be a prediction, like I did. There's a lot of ways you can do this. So this has a bunch of multiple outs, essentially. So this can either be set up like I did, or it can be impromptu with a selected card. And I will show you how to do that. So the first thing I did was I went through and I took out any card in the deck. In this case, the King of Hearts. Now, if you're going to do it how I did it, what you're going to want to do is take out the matching card, okay? In this case, the King of Diamonds. But you can also have a piece of paper, and on it can say, you will choose the King of Hearts, but it doesn't matter. I have this card, and I have the box. Very important, obviously, or it wouldn't work. So here is your setup. You're going to take your piece of paper, you're going to take your card, whatever, and you're going to place it in the box. But when you do it, you're going to want to pay attention here to how the box is going to be resting on the table. So I know the box is going to be resting from the front to the ceiling here, okay? So this card is going to go in face down, okay? So face down card, front of the box. We turn it around. So face up card to the back of the box. So when you open up the box here and you say, I have one card in here, it's going to be a face down card. It could be any. Hopefully that made sense. You close that up and you're good to go. The only thing you're going to do is take your card and place it on the bottom of the box, and you're all set. Now, if you want to, you could take some double stick tape, place it on either the box or the card, get some of the sticky out of it, because you don't want it to be too sticky, and then place it down. Okay, so the card is stuck on the box if we do this, but it's not too stuck, because you can still lift it up. Okay, so you can play around with that. But all I do then is I take this with the card, and I leave it at the edge of the table. And this is just so you can pick it up easily, okay? Now, if you want to, you could play around with this. You can have this resting on another deck. You just don't want someone to bump it by accident and reveal the card. But you can do that however you would like, however you feel comfortable. and then you have the rest of your deck here. So, the deck can get shuffled, and you can really do this however you would like. But here is how I did it, in case you want to see that again. Once the deck is shuffled, they place it on the table, and they cut it somewhere in half. And this is good, because this doesn't have to be approximate. Okay, so let's say we cut it here. And now, there's no magician's choice. There's no forces. They can really do this all on their own. They can choose either half. Let's say this one. Say, okay, you can shuffle up the half if you would like. If you want to, you could shuffle up the other half. It doesn't matter. Now, from the half you selected, I want you to go ahead and start dealing face down and stop whenever you want, okay? Now, most of the time, they shouldn't go to the end of the deck, okay? To one card. If they do, this is still going to work, and I'll show you how, okay? And you want them to do it face up. Or face down, my bad. Because if they do this face up, and you do the load, well, that's going to be very apparent. So if you do this face down, it's going to blend in, but it's not going to be that messy. So let's get right back into this. So I'll leave those over. So perfect. So the spectator can start dealing, and they can be a little messy, but not like this. Okay, you don't want big gaps everywhere. You want a little pile, and you can even demonstrate with the other pile if you want. But they're going to start dealing like this, and they're going to stop whenever they want. Okay, let's say right here. Here's the only thing you might have to practice. Or if the spectator does this the entire time, no need to do this move because you're going to be holding it. And I'll show you that right after I show you this move. This is the only move you're going to do. I'm going to come over and direct your attention to the box so you can say, okay, perfect. You shuffled the deck, you cut it in half, you dealt as much as you wanted, and you said stop. Let me show you the box real quick, and you can come up with whatever pattern you want to justify opening the box, but I do the magical box. And some people might even think there's another card in here, who knows? They shouldn't think that, but they might. So you can say, okay, let me show you the box here, and all you're going to do is you're going to take your index finger, curl on top, your middle ring pinky on the side, and when you do, on the front actually, not the side, and when you do this, your fingers are going to curl right over the box, okay? Because you don't want to pick up the box but leave the card behind. That would be bad. So when your fingers curl over, they curl over like this, so they're still touching the card. And then my thumb goes over like this, and it's still touching the card. So you can pick it up like this and say, okay, let me show you that this is not a magical, that this is a magical box, but there are no magical cards inside. You lift up the box, and now you already loaded the card. You can show your box has no cards inside of it. Now, if you do have your prediction card, you can say, this box is magical because I have one prediction card in here, and this is my go-to card. This always makes sure the trick works out for me. You can open up the box, and you can take out the card. Now, let's say you don't have a table. What do you do? Well, if you hold the box and you hand the deck over to the spectator, you can direct the steps to them, but you can hold the box just like this, okay? So maybe this is in another person's hands. Maybe this is on a table, but there's not enough room. Maybe you do everything in your hands. Who knows? No one should really have a problem if you hold the box casually, okay? Don't squeeze your hands. Don't make it look weird. Don't flash the bottom. Everything should be good. But all you have to do is come over and drop this on top Okay, so I just drop everything, and then I lift up. And if all the cards are messy, they shouldn't notice one card blended in. Their attention should be directed to the box. So now, what I do is I say, okay, this is my prediction card, and this always makes sure the trick goes right. But before I show you that, I'm going to try to guess what this card is. You don't have to do that, but this is what I do. If you want to, you can say, okay, let's see what this card is. The King of Hearts. You can recap the whole trick. Then you can say there's one card that goes with every card in the deck, essentially. In this case, the King of Hearts. Do you know what card goes with it? If they do, if they don't, it doesn't matter. Then you can show them the King of Diamonds. Now, let's say, now this was a little risky, because this is what I did in the performance, but luckily it worked out. I said, here, let me take out a prediction here and see if I can read your mind. So I went through both packets that were left. Okay, not the packet they dealt, okay, but this packet that they didn't touch, and I was able to take out the king. Luckily, it worked. Now, let's say the king wasn't in either of these packets, but that means it's in this packet. What do you do? Well, you could, if you have paper on you, you could write down the King of Hearts. If you have a phone, you could text them the King of Hearts. There's a lot of stuff here you can do, okay? But that's essentially the gist of the trick. That's basically how the trick goes. Now, there's a few other ways you can do this as well. So another way you can do this is with a force. And this works essentially the same way. So you can have a piece of paper. You can have a prediction card. It doesn't matter. But let's say we go through and we take the 6 of clubs, okay? So you can set this up the same way. I'll leave that there. They do whatever they want. They cut. They deal. And you say, okay. Now, most people think this is a magical box, because they might think there's a magical card in here or two to help me out. But let me show you that there's no magical cards. You can open the box, show them, do whatever pattern you want. But now, your 6 is loaded, and you can do whatever you would like. Okay, so that's another way. You can do it a prediction way. You can do it a force way. You can even do it with the spectator's card. Okay, selected card. So how do you do that one? Well, you're going to have the box with you, okay? And I have it closed. Going to have a card selected and controlled to the top. So I'm not going to go over card controls and false cuts, because I already have a bunch of videos on it. But all you want is the card on top or kept on top. After that, you're going to need to palm the card away and place it underneath the box. There's a few things you can do. The first thing you can do is a palm like this, okay? So maybe you can look the spectator in the eye, talk to them, go over the trick for what you already did. While you do that, you can push up the card slightly, okay? So maybe this much, and then you can push down with your fingers. So I do the second knuckles here, and it'll, let me try this again. It'll pop up like that, and now you're good. You can hand the deck over for them to shuffle. I take this hand with the palm card. I move it to my other hand. I squeeze this hand. I move this other hand down, and then I move this hand away. So now the card is going to be palmed in my other hand. Okay? So one more time, I'll go over that. So it's up a little. You pop it off. You squeeze your hand to conceal it. You hand over the deck. Your other hand is going to curl in, okay, because you're going to move this hand over, curl in your hand, slide your other hand down, and move this away. And now while they're focused on this, you can grab the box, and you're going to want to practice in a mirror for this, but you're going to want to hold this in a way so it doesn't look suspicious. They don't see this card, but you can come over with the box and put it right on top of this card without exposing it, and then moving it down and then moving it up. And now the card is on the bottom. They can do the whole trick over, so right there, and then you can drop it and do whatever you want. But now show them. They shuffled, they cut, and they dealt right to their card. So, that was the thing I wanted to teach you today, along with the first deck review. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to choose the next deck review, we have the Avocados, and we have the Deck Starter deck. So if you haven't seen these two in my last video, make sure you check that out. I will link that down below. But that's everything from me. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I think that's everything. If it's not, I'll make another video going over everything I didn't teach. But that's it, and I will see you next time. Bye.